Now, for all golfers out there, and that includes you, can you imagine only being able to play during the winter on a course which had a train line and a rifle range running through it, and where cattle grazing took priority?
It was described in the 19th century as the worst golf course ever. It was on Coldham's Common in Cambridge. It was home to the University Golf Club, but not surprisingly, it disappeared more than 100 years ago. The details from Tom Williams.
The Oxford and Cambridge Golfing Society holds its annual tournament for the President's Putter.
The competition's nearly 100 years old. They still compete for it today, but the roots of the Cambridge University Golf Club date back much further than these pictures from the 1930s. It all started here on Coldham's Common, or Coldham Common, as it was known in Cambridge in 1876.
It was flat, it was featureless, there was no bunkers on the course. They just simply cut some grass a bit shorter for greens, and they cut some holes, and then you had a golf course. All the red dots show the actual 9 holes of the golf course as it was laid out at that time.
But there were some serious hazards. The butts of the rifle range that crossed it are still there. A railway line also ran through the middle, not to mention the foul-smelling ditches and local hooligans stealing golf balls. It was described as the worst golf course ever.
The golfers were only allowed to play in the winter time. In the summer months, the cattle came back onto the common to graze, and so golf was played from October through until May each year. There's stories of them playing golf in the snow, and they would use red golf balls so that they could find them, and they'd have 4 caddies going up ahead to find the balls in advance for the golfers, and they'd just simply clear away a bit of snow around the green, and then they'd putt on the green. So they'd play in the middle of winter. It was sheer madness at times.
The club became one of the largest in England. 500 members playing competitions for a number of trophies. 2 were lost for decades. Mike found one, the Linskill Cup, in a basement at Hollandwell Golf Club in Nottingham. The other, the Dunedin Cup, he traced back to Cambridge, where it was made.
As soon as he described it, I knew exactly which one it was, and went down, said to him, wait a moment. Went down, got it, and here it is. We have actually got some other trophies down there who we've been trying to reunite people with, and either never came in to claim them, so actually to reunite somebody with one, it's absolutely great.
The students are in awe of Mike's remarkable discovery, and for these 2 trophies to have lain unknown for the last 50-odd years is extraordinary, so it's terrific.
2 treasures back where they belong, and at least today's students won't get caught in this rough trying to win them. Tom Williams, BBC Look East.
Well, Mike Morrison is the author and a very keen golfer. You wouldn't have fancied playing on that, would you?
Not today, it was rather chilly out there today.
Now, there are some great stories there. One of them is that actually they had some very good professionals there. Somebody who'd won the Open.
They did indeed, and they had a professional. They paid for him to look after their golf clubs and to give them some lessons and to look after the course. And there was one famous one called Bob Martin, who won the Open Championship in 1876. There was a famous match that took place in 1884 when Felixstowe, the club, came over to play the University Golf Club at Coldham's Common. And they brought their professional with them, whose name was Willie Fernie, and he was the existing Open champion. So we had 2 Open champions playing golf on Coldham's Common in 1884.
What was not a very good golf course.
On what was not a very good golf course.
Because it didn't have any bunkers. And they actually used to use the rifle range at some point and fire over the top of the golfers.
Indeed, indeed. They did get a bit close to each other at times, and it was a genuine hazard for the golfers.
And who would have been responsible? Well, I don't suppose they did much mowing during the winter, did they?
Only really mowing around the greens themselves. The fairways were just however the cattle had left the common grazed from the summer months, because they only played during the winter months. That was the only time they were allowed to use the common for golf.
And the course itself was very muddy, and the cattle, how can I put this, would have left their own kind of mess.
I suppose so, yes.
Which fertilised the fairways
indeed,
as well.
Indeed.
And yet, they had 500 members, so it was very popular.
Yes, it was phenomenal, because it grew from obviously very small beginnings in the mid-1870s, but by the early 1890s, Cambridge University Golf Club was one of the largest in England. There was about 300 golf clubs at that time, and they were in the top 4.
And you found where the old clubhouse was and the professionals' house?
Yes, indeed, indeed. There's still remnants of them there today on Coldham's Road, just backing onto Coldham's Common.
The thing is that all those people use it now time and again. And there is no, if you went to where a golf course used to be in most places, you would know it, wouldn't you? But
Indeed.
you can't see a golf course that's there at all.
In fact, when the golf course was eventually abandoned in 1902, when they just gave up, it was too difficult continuing to play golf there. The common just went back to the way it was. The grass grew in the areas where they'd cut it short, but there was no bunkers or no legacy to show where there was a golf course.
And the golfers themselves went out to play at Royal Wellington, which is a beautiful course.
It is indeed.
It's a fascinating story, a fascinating book, Michael. Thank you very much.
Thank you.